Inside Michigan Basketball, delivered by UPS. Michigan students were on spring break, so we decided to go a little casual for this week's edition of Inside Michigan Basketball. Hi, everyone, and welcome. The Wolverines, fresh off their upset win at home against Ohio State, had just one game this week. That was on the road against a new Big Ten opponent, the Maryland Terrapins, ranked in the top 25 for 13 consecutive weeks. It was senior day at College Park, and the Terps were trying to do something they hadn't done since 2002, last time they won the national championship. That was finish perfect at home in conference play, and they knew the Wolverines were standing in their way. Just the 7th ever meeting between the Wolverines and the Terrapins. Maryland had won the previous two, and Aubrey Dawkins got Michigan started early with a steal and a breakaway jam, only to watch Maryland reel off 7 straight to take a 7-2 lead. But like most of this season, U of M punched right back. They responded with their own 7-0 spurt, highlighted by a patented Spike Albrecht move. Albrecht into the front court. A shoulder shake, around a high hedge, floats it off the window and good with the right hand. Maryland's Jared Nickens hit a 3 from the left wing, and Albrecht returned the favor on the very next possession. The Wolverines went with a lineup that included 3 freshmen and 2 walk-ons at one point, and actually extended their lead thanks to a Ricky Doyle putback. The home team then went on a 12-0 dash to end the half, and they hit the locker room up 30-21. Michigan shooting just 32% in the opening half and turning it over 7 times. The Wolverines started the second half really strong, thanks to a 3 from Zach Irvin, a pretty jumper from Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman, a hard-working 2 by Ricky Doyle inside, and an aggressive slam by Rahman.
Drives by Pack, lays it down, and he jammed it through. Thought he was going to finger roll it up. Instead, he stuffed it through. Found that extra gear as he climbed high to bring Michigan to within 4.
Neither team could take advantage of the other team's cold shooting afterwards. The Wolverines had 5 straight chances to get even closer, and then down 6, sliced the lead in half behind a guy who's used to the spotlight.
To Albrecht, deep 3, ring it up! Left side, Spike Albrecht pulls the Wolverines to within 3. It's 43-40.
Maryland then started knocking down their triple attempts and went on a 17-8 run. Romello Trimble popped in a couple, followed by a couple of pocket corner long balls from Jake Layman, and then Des Wells.
Right corner for Wells. He'll take the 3. Oh, and he buried it. Des Wells with his first triple of the game.
Maryland took their largest lead of the day at 12 with just 2:55 remaining. Too much for the Wolverines to overcome. Michigan got some key 3s from Irvin and Albrecht late. They were within 8, but the Terps hit their free throws down the stretch. They win at 66-56 to finish unbeaten at home in conference play for the first time since 2002.
We've been in this position before, and I thought for the most part all year long we've done a really good job of going on the road and not letting the hostile environment, get to us like a lot of young teams would. So I'm really proud of that. But at the same time, we're not getting the results we want, so we got to figure some things out and back to the drawing board.
Offensively, a couple of 3s from you in and out, and then your bigs inside missing some of those hook shots and stuff. So close, and yet at times you feel a little bit far away.
Yeah, it's frustrating seeing shots go in and out. We had a lot of shots and easy layups and things like that. I'm sure all of our guys would want back. But at the same time, as that's how basketball is. You can't control everything.
As a young team and as an individual, what are you learning in these tight games on the road like this?
We just always got to stick together and make better plays than we did when we got to that point, because every play means something. And in the game, every play means something altogether, but in that type of situation, every play means even more. So we just stick together and basically have to grow faster and think like we've been here before, so that's pretty much it.
Our Al Rose Steel Ironman of the Week, Zach Irvin, 3 triples. 15th time this year he's had 3 triples or more in a game. He had 15 points to help lead the Wolverines, but they fall a little short. I know these get old. I know these get frustrating for you and Spike Albrecht as leaders, but what do you take out of a game like this?
Just gotta have a growth mindset, definitely with all the losers that we're having. I know a lot of guys are frustrated, but like I said, we just gotta have a growth mindset and just go on to the next day and just keep growing and learning.
What was the biggest difference in this game? You look at three-point shooting, they were making theirs. You guys had some go in and out, too many go in and out. Is it as simple as that?
Yeah, definitely. We hit a little drought. We had shots going in and out, missing easy layups, and they were just knocking down shots. So we got to give credit to Maryland, though, because they are a good team.
How important are games like this for guys like Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman and guys like Aubrey Dawkins who are learning what it takes to play in this environment, late games, late stages, and trying to fight through, sometimes not playing all that well?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like I said, we fought through a lot of adversity this year, but our young guys have stepped up. They just got to keep growing and getting better each day. We just got to look towards Northwestern on Tuesday.
I know it gets old. I know you get tired of hearing about, boy, you played hard, but you gave this club everything they could handle and more. This is a team that's 17-1 at home, Coach.
Yeah, we had a bad last 3 or 4 minutes of that first half, and other than that, I mean, our team really battled, and that sort of was the difference in the game. We really played them straight up in the second half, and our kids just are proud of them. They've really played hard. We needed a couple shots to go in, and we needed to guard them a little bit better in some stretches. Maybe we get tired, I don't know, but they are a good team.
It was interesting you say that because I thought defensively, I thought your team was pretty rock solid.
We were good. We had some trouble with Trimble there at the end, and he shares the ball so well, and there's just some things that we can eliminate, but still at the same time, I am proud of them, and our kids did play hard.
And some guys who really starting to feel, their offensive game coming to them a little bit. Guys like Zach Irvin, Spike Albright, you need those leaders to carry, and they did. Yeah,
they certainly did. I really like what we're seeing out of Zach every day, whether it's rebounding, guarding, just playing, and then all our guys are just, this is all good stuff. Aubrey Dawkins had a tough day today, but he also will learn from this, right? Mohammed did a couple of really good things. So we keep making the steps, but as you know, this team reminds me of some of over my years of coaching, the better team. Back when you had a lot of juniors and seniors on your team, that's who they are right now. And I really sat there in envy of the way they play together because they played so well together for so long.
Well, when you have talent like Trimble and Lehman and Wells, they're going to get theirs, but your key was to make them work for theirs. And I thought you made them work for their shots and their points, don't you?
Yeah, they have a lot of they look for each other really well. It's a very unselfish team, and Mark's got a really good squad there. They really put that together very well with these transfers, and now you add those 2 freshmen that were really outstanding today.
Talk a little bit about Cam Chapman's growth. He looks a lot more sure of himself out there.
Yeah, he is growing. He has some big areas of growth of just trying to do less, just sort of fit in. But at the same time, he is really he's finding his understanding of what you have to do, and he needs to have a great offseason, and he's got a great attitude. He should do that.
There was a period of time there where you're within 6, and you had about 5 chances to get it down to 4, maybe even 3.
Yeah.
Just couldn't seem to get it there offensively. Were you getting the plays that you wanted? Spike Albright had 2 threes that were in and out.
Yeah, we got some really good looks for Zach Irvin earlier in the half. So he's passing the ball really well, and we didn't get some of the shots to drop that we needed to get through that. So when we did get stops at the other end. So hats off to Maryland. They did a great job.
Coach, thanks as always. We appreciate the time.
All right, thanks, Matt.
With the loss of Karis LeVert and Derek Walton, the Wolverines needed someone to take the mantle. When we come back, the co-captain, Spike Albright, and how his leadership has changed throughout the year due to injuries. Inside Michigan Basketball, delivered by UPS. Let UPS put the power of logistics to work for you.
Outside Albrecht for 3. Yes! Spike Albrecht delivers, and Michigan's in front by 3.
During this season of what seems constant turmoil, the Wolverines have stuck together. Grabbing the reins in recent weeks has been junior Spike Albrecht, who says he's never ridden a roller coaster with this many ups and downs.
I can't say I have. No one could have predicted the things we've gone through this season, whether the losing streak or the injuries and things of that nature. But it's been a fun season. We've had ups and downs, but we're continuing to learn and get better each and every day. And I wouldn't change it for the world.
Over the past 6 games, Spike is averaging an astonishing 38 minutes, as well as 13.5 points and nearly 5 assists, all while becoming the team's emotional leader.
If all you freshmen can just look at Spike Albright, right, and just realize how hard he plays every minute that he's out there, right, until he's got to beg to come out. That's the mentality you have to have, and that's what great players do.
I've always been more of a lead-by-example type of guy. I go out there and show the younger guys, what it means to work hard and things like that, and what creates success. But this year's been a little bit more different because I've had to be more of a vocal leader, step up and and speak more just because I've been around. I know what college basketball like and the grind of the Big Ten.
Bounce pass up ahead for Russell, stolen by Albrecht. Keeps the dribble alive like a globetrotter, and it's fouled by Russell. Michigan gets a standing ovation.
If a guy like me who's playing 35, 40 minutes will get out there in a little sky on the court, we'll get out there and take a charge or dive on a loose ball, I think that kind of goes to show them that I mean business, and that's, that's what it takes to win at this level.
Albrecht has endured as much as anyone not named Caris LeVert. For much of this season, he's been battling a nagging injury that's kind of like the weather. He's never quite sure what he's going to get.
It really changes day to day. Like sometimes I could just wake up in the morning and I could tell you if it's going to be a good or bad day. So some days, I'm practicing, playing, 90%. Other days it could be, 50, 60%.
Admittedly, Spike is not the most physically intimidating player. He stands a shade under 6 feet and checks in at 175 pounds. He told us about a moment when an opposing player took note of his skills and paid him maybe the ultimate compliment.
When we were going on that run in the first half, and Trey was on the bench, Peyton Siva came up to me when someone was shooting a free throw, and he was like, hey, you're not supposed to be this good. And I was like, I didn't even know what to say. I kind of just laughed it off, but I thought that was pretty cool to hear that from a guy who was, he might have even been an All-American, but he was definitely All-American caliber.
And now, with the season winding down, Spike and the guys are geared up for a strong finish.
You never know what can happen. That's kind of the mindset. We're just going to play it out and see how it goes. But, we definitely know that there's still a chance for us to make the NCAA tournament. Although it's going to be tough. We got some tough games left. But we have a chance to get some quality wins, and then you never know what can happen in the Big Ten tournament. We're just going to go in there and try to make some noise.
For Inside Michigan Basketball, I'm Ed Kingerski.
Ed, thanks. When we come back, this Michigan team will look very familiar next year, but it will be missing one familiar face, Max Bielfeldt. We'll talk with him as he gets ready to play his final regular season home game after this. All these guys mature at different rates. Max Bielfeldt has changed as a player and as a person. How have you done in both those categories here at Michigan in your 4 years?
Well, I think coming in here and seeing great leaders like Zach Novak and Stu Douglas and it's really a bunch of good personalities. We had a lot to work on as a team, and I think I've seen over the years how what kind of leadership qualities really are the valuable ones. And when the opportunity stepped up this year, you have D-Walt go down, who's a really big vocal leader. We had to have guys who led by example more, kind of step up and be more of a vocal leader. Me and Spike, Caris too. And I think it's kind of showed, we've kind of come together and got the young guys under our wing.
Have you changed the way you've played since you've been here? And what have you improved mostly on, do you think?
I think, when you lose Caris and D-Walt, who took most of our shots, you got to be a little more of an offensive threat. In the past, people kind of knew where the ball was going to the last 10 seconds. I think whether it was, the shot at the end of the game or just overall, just making a play and kind of being that spark. I think, me, Mark, Ricky, all the bigs, and, especially like, you see Aubrey Muhammad making these big plays down the stretch. I think that's where you see it most for us.
Have you enjoyed being the mentor to a certain extent to guys like Ricky Doyle and Mark Donnell?
Yeah, definitely. I think, even extending, with, Aubrey Muhammad and all the other young guys, we just have great personalities who are willing to learn and kind of, understand what they need to do. So it's so cool to see you guys really respond to what you're saying and, taking it and, really using it, not just kind of brushing it off.
You guys have been in just about every single game you've played this year, spare an Arizona or an Iowa game. What has allowed you guys to stay so competitive all season, do you think?
I think it's what Coach B does with the film study. Coach B, he has us realize exactly what our little mistakes were, and whether it's making the guys be on the midline when it's the ball's over there, any little thing that the freshmen aren't quite there with, or anyone's messing up with
details.
Yeah, just the little details, and we try to make sure we don't get beat by that again. So we go into the next game, you'll see we're a lot better at those little things, and I think that's really how we can just kind of respond and be better.
You've had a really solid season. Let me bring up a couple examples though. You go back home to Illinois, and your grandfather and your dad and your mom, they're at every game anyway, but especially that one, that meant an awful lot to you, where you had 12 points and 8 rebounds.
Yeah, I mean, especially that game, you know, we came out kind of slow. There was like no points scored in the first 5 minutes, and we just kind of needed to get something going. And you know, whether it was me coming in and, you know, hitting a couple shots or whatever needed, we just had to do something different. And I think, you know, I think just going in there, you know, being able to kind of do some different things, whether it's offensive rebounds or, you know, just getting a bucket here or there, it's just kind of invaluable.
How about the home game against Ohio State? 7.7 boards, but I would guess, knowing you the way I do over the last 4 years, the thing that you enjoyed most is making those hustle plays, getting those 50-50 balls to make a difference in a game.
Yeah, exactly. I think those 50-50 balls are so important because, you know, it's a momentum changer. You know, you have a ball that can go to either person, and if, you know, you get that, you know, you get the ball and get a whole other possession, 35 seconds, it's kind of it's a downer to the other team. It's just kind of demoralizing. And, you know, those are so big because, you know, you got the other guys kind of start to lose hope, especially when they're coming back from a deficit. So, you know, those kind of plays are really, you know, what's important to me.
Wherever you go from here, basketball or in business life, what lessons do you carry from your experience here in Ann Arbor over the last 4 years into your successful post-basketball career?
I think the biggest things are, you know, being a team player, you know, being able to work with so many different personalities and guys, and really just understanding how everyone works and how to operate as a team. You know, then there's the general basketball things you have, like, you know, just, you know, hard work and you know, just staying persistent and, you know, persevering and all that, and, you know, just really not accepting a loss for an answer. And, you know, I think that'll pass on to, you know, whatever I end up doing.
We've enjoyed it very much. Continued success.
Thank you.
Later on, we'll take a look at how the Michigan football team is handling their early spring practices. But up next, the women's story.
Michigan hosted senior night February 24th against Purdue, and senior Nicole Elmblad responded by scoring a career-high 19 points. Her classmate Saisha Gori recorded her 15th double-double of the season. She finished with 17 points and 11 rebounds as Michigan jumped out to a 10-2 lead and led by as many as 32 points against the Boilermakers. Freshman Caitlin Flaherty went 5 for 5 from three-point range en route to 19 points, and junior Madison Rosofsky scored a season-high 15 points. 81-50, the final from Chrysler Center. It was senior day for Illinois in Champaign on Sunday in the final regular season game of the year, and Michigan senior Shannon Smith helped keep it close early. She led the Wolverines with 24 points, and Rosofsky matched her season high with 15 points, but it wasn't nearly enough. Michigan turned the ball over 15 times in the first half, which helped the Illini build a 34-26 halftime lead. Michigan had won 6 straight against the Illini, but that streak ended 72-60. Michigan finishes with 8 Big Ten wins and 10 losses. Flaherty was held scoreless, and Gori managed just 1 field goal as Michigan made just one of its first 12 shots to start the second half. Michigan heads to Hoffman Estates, Illinois, just outside Chicago, to start the Big Ten tournament on Thursday at 12:30 Eastern as the 8th seed against Michigan State. The Wolverines swept the Spartans during the regular season. And congratulations to senior Nicole Elmblad, who was just named an academic All-American for the 2nd consecutive season. We'll profile Nicole next week right here on Inside Michigan Basketball. I'm Sarah Van Meter.
Thanks, Sarah. When we come back to first year under Jim Harbaugh and the first 3 spring practices under the new head coach, we'll see how the football team is faring after this. Inside Michigan Basketball, delivered by UPS, is brought to you in part by Absol Pure Water, the official bottled water of the Michigan Wolverines. Well, the Jim Harbaugh era began on the field last week. Harbaugh, who spends a lot of time working with the quarterbacks, made it clear the process of building a team will take some time, but expectations are high at the beginning of this new football season.
We in football treat the first day of spring practice as the new year. So it's like your birthday, it's like the New Year's, it's Thanksgiving. You're thankful that you can participate in football. It's like Christmas. You have this gift. It's like a family reunion. It's all those things all rolled into one. It's happening. It's like the first day of school. Lay your clothes out the night before and pack your lunchbox tight and you head off to school.
That's it for this week's edition of Inside Michigan Basketball. Next week, we'll show you all the highlights and the reaction from the final road game of the year at Northwestern, the final home game during the regular season against Rutgers, and we'll preview the Big Ten tournament. That's all next week on Inside Michigan Basketball. Until then, have a great week, everybody, and go Blue.